Hello, y'all. Welcome back to the Indigo Corner. I gotta get some water. Hold on. It's your intuitive bestie, Dr. Ken. Welcome back. And welcome for those of you all who are new. I'm so excited to have you here as you hear about what I see coming down the pike. And I think last episode we talked more about some of my formatting and some of the things that are going to be changing with the channel. And then I went on my birthday vacation, y'all. I had such a good birthday. I went to the St. Thomas Virgin Islands, the U.S. Virgin Islands. Had the time of my life, beautiful water, certainly can't wait to go back. And then I just spent time with my family and was able to reconnect, and super excited to get back to this work. Some crazy spiritual breakthroughs, some things that the spirit and the cards told us in the last video has come to fruition. So today we'll talk a little bit about that. So everything that I say here in this video is alleged and for entertainment purposes only. If you want a personal reading, the information will be in the description box below. And I'm so excited that this Saturday I will be going live with my spiritual, not this Saturday, second Saturday in August. Wait, yeah. So this is coming Saturday. not the first one, but the second one. Be going live with my spiritual sis Kim over there at Moonlight Energy. So come join us Saturday, 8 p.m. We do our first joint live together. I'm super excited for that as well. Okay, let's get into what we will be talking about today. So a couple things I want to talk a little bit about regarding the channel. And so as I talked about earlier, last video, I introduced some things that I will be embarking on, and particularly with the grief process. So really helping people along that journey. And so stay tuned for more information about that. And then also, I did talk a little bit about some channeling that I will do. Now, I did say someone that I will channel in the last video, and I actually opted not to channel that person because Spirit was like, no, we've already showed you what we need to show you about that situation. So I do have a follow-up regarding Epstein for sure. And then we'll talk a little bit more about that when we get there. Anyway, so let's get into it. Today we're going to first, well, I'll tell you what we're going to talk about. We'll talk about Epstein. Spirit wants me to address what I see about Kamala Harris. And I also will be addressing Project Esther. If you haven't heard about Project Esther, I suggest that you certainly go and look it up. It's supposed to be an extension of Project 2025. It has already been put into practice as of October 2024. So I definitely want to go into some energy around that and pull cards. And then I did get some information and messages around the natural disasters that we're seeing. And then I am going to tell you what James Baldwin said to me as I channeled him in this current energy of America. Okay, y'all. So let's get started. We'll be using our coveted light seers today. I am going to use the song deck. I know I said that prior, but definitely going to use it today. And then, of course, our Afro anime deck that we got from Tati. So excited about that. Okay. Let me go into a quick prayer. Okay. And of course I have my nifty pendulum in case I get confused as to getting a clarifying message. All right, let's start y'all with the Jeffrey Epstein situation. Okay, so let me tell y'all what I see. I'm laughing because there is certainly, and I'm going to pull from our light seers that regarding this situation. But the Epstein situation is very, very interesting because if you go back in the last video, Spirit showed me Epstein kind of like sitting in like a corner and just like sitting back with one of his feet crossed, and he's just like, yeah, I'm just gonna let this all play out. Now, I can't make out where he is, but I can tell you that it is like by himself, and he is like just sort of like content with everything that's going on. So I do want to pull cards to get the ultimate outcome and the impact on the country regarding this. Okay, it's like 3 cards came out. I'll also say too, if y'all haven't noticed, that there's been a lot of people who have information and then like trying to figure out like if they should release it. That's still happening, and even more so now with all the varying reports that came out. But I just asked Spirit about the ultimate outcome of this Epstein situation, and I also want to see the impact on the Orange Face Killer's presidency. So we got 3 cards there. Let me pull one more. Spirit. Okay, you're gonna give me 2 more. Okay. All right, so let's see what we got here. We got 7 of Swords, right? I just said that people like that have information that they are just like biding their time to try to figure out if they should like say something. There's a lot of sneakiness going on behind the scenes, right? Like there's a lot of sneakiness, and the ultimate outcome feels like it's going to be exposed. 7 of Swords. See, like, notice this is the Orange Face Killer right here. Trying to be like, oh, look over there, look, oh my God, look, this is all this stuff that's happening. What about? Right? So there's a lot of distraction going on and try to like get us not paying attention to what the moon is illuminating, which is happening behind the surface. So the ultimate outcome is going to be an exposure of that sneakiness. We also got how you want this to fall, Spirit. Okay. We got 6 of Cups, right? So this coming behind the 7 of Swords tells me that there's people who are going to be reconciling with their past, and it's going to be a moral conversation, and the ultimate outcome is going to be predicated on how those discussions go with those people, right? It's going to be some individual like moral checking in around like what folks should be doing. Yeah. And it's almost as if the people who know better are like remembering their inner child, and their inner child is talking to them like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? How you want this to fall, Spirit? Okay. Queen of Wands in reverse. So with the Queen of Wands in reverse, this is telling me that there's like a a stagnation because of this right here. There's a stagnation, right? There's a lot of inner conflict. Queen of Wands in reverse is like pausing the celebration, right? So thank you, Spirit, while there might have been in the beginning, in the beginning there might have been some momentum behind trying to like get people to not talk about it, but this ultimate outcome is like the celebration has halted because people want to know. The celebration has halted. People want to know. We want that default spirit. Okay. Then we got the Fool. So the ultimate outcome is that there's going to be a new beginning after this sort of like, this is very murky energy here. Like once we get through that, there's going to be a new beginning, right? There's going to be an awareness. And in this deck, the Fool card has the Tree of Life down there. There's a crystal here that's being illuminated by the sun. Just an awareness, but not necessarily worry, right? So new beginnings will come from this, and new beginnings in a way that we get to scrutinize processes further. I thank you, Spirit. And finally, we got how you want this to fall. The Six of Wands. Victory. This is the people. This is the people. Even you can see the people back there. Just victory. Six of Wands after this new beginning, right? Once we get through this murky energy around like people getting a conscience finally and being like, yeah, this is, and they will. It's just right now they are sort of going back and forth. And because they're going back and forth, there's this pause in celebration. There's this pause in fire. There's this pause in like, there's just a pause, right? Once that is done, then this new energy will catapult the energy to sort of a victory, right? And this is where I feel like most people want to get to. A victory around like, we know what's in the files, we know what you did, but this victory feels like people seeing the impact on him, right? There's hands there, like there's like a lot of sort of hands, so like a lot of like a finally energy. Okay. Yeah, this, I don't know about this, how the administration is going to try to sweep this Epstein situation under the rug. And of course, there's like a question around like, what's the end goal? Like, why would somebody want to, be all in this situation? Well, Spirit just said it's because people have a lot of moral conversations that they're trying to have with themselves, and they're seeing really right now like an eroding of that, like through his behavior, and he don't really want that. He wants to control the conversation, allegedly. All right. Okay. So that's what we see for Epstein, y'all. Stay tuned, y'all. It's going to be slow. There's a pause right now in the victory on that end, but there's a new beginning coming. Like people are like questioning a couple things, which will ultimately lead us to a new beginning. Okay, Kamala Harris. All right, y'all. Um, um, a number of us, I will say, once the E word happened in November, we immediately sort of felt this calm, almost like there's something bigger here. And a number of us that are in the spiritual community, readers, what have you, we saw exactly what's starting to unfold. Now, I will say to you, Kamala becoming or coming back as the president, the energy of that makes sense, but it is not in the ways in which we have been used to seeing it, which is, I think back in probably in January, February, we talked a little bit about how her return to the presidency is going to be more like an energy, as it were. So she did come out on the other day when she interviewed on Colbert. She pretty much said that. She pretty much said, I am not interested in being a part of the current system because it is broken and it needs to be redone. And I'm not giving up the fight. And so that, to me, was like, aha! That's the presidential energy that Spirit was showing us. And actually, what the cards showed us maybe a few months ago when it came down to sort of like what she was doing. So I do want to pull cards on Kamala and sort of how she is going to be instrumental in shifting the entire idea of what government should be, how the people should be treated, and the like. So before I pull cards, I do want to get just a clarifying question about what I see for Kamala. Okay, Spirit, let's do it a test. Okay, Spirit. Is my name CJ? Is my name CJ, Spirit? Okay, thank you. Clear the center. Clear the center, please. Thank you. Is my name Kenneth? Is my name Kenneth, Spirit? Okay, thank you, Spirit. Clear the center. Okay, that's a yes. That is my name, y'all. Okay, Spirit. Is Kamala Harris' return to the public eye a more presidential energy that you were speaking about months ago? Is Kamala's return to the public eye the more presidential energy that you were referring to months ago? Yes. Big yes, too. Okay. Yeah, that's what I saw that. I was like, she's gonna be big. It's gonna be big the way that she's gonna shift things. And she's good at that. She's also an intuitive. And certainly her mom has had numerous discussions with her regarding this assignment. And I don't even think it's fair. She didn't even realize that was the assignment. She thought it was being a president, but it's bigger than that. It's bigger than that because there's so much that needs to be shifted. And Kamala, like we said, is the one that's going to shift it. She really is. And you're starting to see a little bit of it as people start to speculate what she's going to be doing and like how she's going to be moving. Yeah. Yeah. Spirit just said that she's been working on this for ever since November. She's been working on like this plan. Yeah, because her mom certainly was like, there's a bigger play here. There's a bigger play here, especially because of what the Orange Face Killer did with Elante Musquet when it came to the E word, but that's neither here nor there. It really gets on me when people be like, "This is what they voted for," and I'm like, "Yeah, but did they? Did they?" That's neither here nor there. All right, Spirit, show me. Kamala Harris is now back in the conversation. Show me what her impact will be on the countries. Show me her impact on the country now that she's back. Okay. I'll do two more. Show me Kamala Harris's impact on the country now that she is back. I definitely feel that presidential hope that we had, there's something bigger. Like something bigger that they're working on to fix how we got here. Two more, Spirit. Kamala Harris impact on the country. Oop, that's too many. Kamala Harris impact on the country now that she's back in the conversation. Okay, I want those two to fall. Okay. All right, here are our 4 cards. As I touch these, I feel like there is invigorated hope. I'm hearing, what's the word? Something anger? What is the word you're saying? Collective anger. Okay. Yeah, there's an energy here like that's reinvigorated. I'm gonna touch these. All right, first card I got, Kamala Harris's impact on the country now that she's back. 10 of Cups. 10 of Cups. Family. People feeling joy again. Again, this is going to be the ultimate impact of Kamala Harris is coming back into the country. The impact of her coming back. People are going to feel like there's some joy. And again, we don't know how that's going to manifest, but 10 of Cups. Wheel of Fortune. Y'all, these... these cards, it's abundance, it's happiness. The Wheel of Fortune is the literal abundant card. And of course, as the wheels turn, right now we are in a very, what feels dark and hard, and people, it's really, really difficult for folks. But the wheel, y'all, is turning. Look at that, with Kamala Harris coming back into the picture. Like, the wheels are turning back to the light. We got, the 6 of Wands again. Victory. Look at the victory on this in this deck though. Okay? Just 10 of Cups, Wheel of Fortune, 6 of Wands. Victory, victory, victory. It's whoo! See? She comes with that. She comes with a real healing energy. I knew it. And finally, 5 of Wands. This is her. This is her against that presidency. 5 of Wands usually talks about conflict and confusion, but there's two individuals here. Yeah, she feels very reinvigorated from this break. She took time to be with her family as well. 10 of Cups. She took time to be with her family. Hey, Doug. Are they kids? It's like them on his car. She took that time and she's bringing that energy into this space now, right? And that's what is going to invigorate this Wheel of Fortune energy. I love this Wheel of Fortune. It's so intricate. It's so like all the various things that went into this, even putting this card together. Like, look how detailed it is. I think there's like a lot of work that went into sort of like this decision to come out here and to fight this situation. She's going to have the victory. We're going to have the victory. Like, this is, I need everybody to take a deep breath, because her coming back is exactly what we saw. And she's back with a vengeance this time. Especially because she's not running for nothing. And she do want to like get people genuinely talking. Not because of politics or anything. This is to genuinely talk and get to know. So it's looking really good, y'all, with Kamala back in the conversation. It does feel like there's a lot of stuff that will be happening behind the scenes. The cards tell us that there's certainly going to be some good energy coming back because she's here and people are going to be motivated by that. Okay. Y'all, let's talk about this Project Esther. Ooh, Project Esther. Again, if you haven't heard about it, it's like an extension. I had to get some water. Of Project 2025. I only want to pull maybe 2 cards on it before moving on, but I will tell you what I see. So the same individuals, I don't know if they're the same individuals, but they are the same figures that I saw in the election vision that I shared. And they're like running around this time though. They're like huddling somewhere, but they're running to like this one part of the room. I don't know why they're running, but they don't seem to be like in concert with each other. And I heard, now I don't know if this is DT. Let me ask really quickly, actually, because I hear a voice saying something, but I want to make sure that it's who I think it is, because it could be someone else. But give me 1 second while okay, Spirit is who I'm thinking about. The voice that I'm hearing is the name that I'm thinking about. The voice that I'm hearing. Okay, so it is Donald Trump. All right, so he is saying, now, can I stay until I die? Like, he's questioning, like, can I do that? And that's a question that keeps coming up. So, I just keep hearing that question. Can I stay till I die? Let me get 2 cards, Spirit. Show me, show me, will Project Esther go into effect fully? Will Project Esther go into effect fully? There's some scary things in it, y'all. You want that to fall? Okay, that's one. Oh, that's too many. Let me get one more. Will Project Esther fully take effect? There's some things, again, that are already in there that have started in October, but I want to know about the fullness of it. Right? Okay, thank you, Spirit. All right, we got the Lovers, Major Arcana. It's going to be a decision. It's going to be a decision amongst the American people, it feels like. Like, are they going to... I'm hearing, like, it's a decision. They may, it may or may not. It's going to be a decision amongst the American people, though. But the American people they're going to pick correctly. The Nine of Cups, right? Like, this is the manifestation card. Like, really, everything that you want coming to fruition. Like, jumping into bliss almost. And so it feels like some of it will go into effect, but the country's going to make a good decision about like where it needs to end. It is going to go to an extent, but it's going to end somewhere. Even you can see in this card, like as she's jumping off, she's being like, right? It's like she's cutting something, right? And so the country's going to make a decision about it, and it's going to be the one that is going to make us feel like, no, this is enough. This is enough. Okay. I see that with Project Esther. I feel like because Project 2025 was like the first iteration, and people were like, I don't know if that's really going to be a thing. And then now we see that it is a thing. Folks are like, wait a minute. So more people are paying attention, it feels like, to what is being talked about, what's being planned. And I think as people learn more about Project Esther, they'll get a little bit more like, okay, this is enough. Yeah. All right. Let's talk briefly about the natural disasters that are happening. Spirit gave me a few messages about them, and I do want to share those. I also will I'll pull from our, let's do Afro Cinema. Yeah, we'll pull from here. So July started a number of things, right? There's a lot of things that happen planetarily. There's a lot of shifts, new seasons, Leo season. Shout out to the Leos. My birthday was July 27th. So there was just like a lot of shifting happening. We saw heat waves and a lot of weather events. And then we saw earthquakes and tsunami warnings and things of that nature. And Spirit wants everyone to know, at least the message I got and the people who will hear me, is that it's interesting that we call them natural disasters, when natural is very like occurring. It's going to happen whether there's nothing you can really do. It's happening in nature. We should reframe disaster as a term when it comes to the things that the earth is doing to fix itself. Okay? So as the earth continues to fix itself, it keeps us safe. If you noticed, even in the current sort of most recent earthquake of the 8.8, which was followed by a 7 Richter scale as well. So it's 2 earthquakes that happened. And a volcano that hasn't erupted in 600 years has now begun to erupt. And it is something like the magma that is coming out is different than the rest of sort of magma that scientists have studied. Now, I will say that a 600-year volcano erupting is certainly cause for conversation. At the same time, there's also, when I was in Mexico, they were saying about the Sargassy, and I remember reading a little bit about that earlier, about the seaweed and how much of it was going to be in the ocean, but at the same time, there's like, the ocean is cleaning itself up. And there's also, we found out, coral that can now eat plastic. So there's a lot of things on the planet that is fixing itself. And what we are feeling or seeing is the earth doing that. And Spirit said there's some of us right now that is not seeing sort of like how we are kept safe even from the earth fixing itself. For example, when the tsunami warning started to come in, fortunately, they were not as severe as they have predicted because of the ways that the ocean sort of quelled out the wave. So there are moments like that that are going to continue to happen. For example, the heat wave that just left the East Coast. I live in Philly, so it was super hot, and then all of a sudden it was like hoodie weather, right? And so there's a lot of shifting happening not only on the earth, but within our spiritual consciousness. And I think because of that, we're finding like the natural ways that the earth is fixing itself, in addition to the impact of what's happening in the planets. Pluto and Aquarius, there's retrogrades, there's sun flares, there's a lot of things happening that's impacting our earth. So as you are reading or experiencing these things, just be mindful of how you're reframing what you're seeing, right? And certainly there's not to take away from the tragedy of lives lost. And at the same time, what is happening is natural. And some things certainly are man-made, like the heat wave and what have you, and the warming of the ocean. But the earth is correcting itself from all of that. So just wanted to name that. And I'll pull a couple cards on will the natural disasters impede our existence? Sort of like, is it going to have a negative impact on our life here on earth? Okay, I'll pull one more card. Let me get one more card, Spirit. The current natural disasters that we are facing, is it going to impede our experience here on the planet? Spirit. Right? Because I know a lot of people are certainly like, oh my gosh, tornadoes and the earthquakes. You want that one to fall? Okay, we got two. All right. And justifiably so. Okay, we got the Knight of Wands. All right, moving forward with fervor and fire and like motivation. Okay, Seven of Swords. The Fool. So it is going to make us feel more like we need to do something to save our planet. And there's a lot of work that's being done to do that. Like a lot of scientists, conservationists efforts that are happening that nobody knows about. And it feels like sneaky because of all the various things that people have talked about with climate change. But we're moving forward with a fire and a fervor because of the work that we're seeing. And there is going to be, again, the second time this card has come up in this reading of New Beginning. So be mindful of how you're consuming the information about natural disasters. Do your best to really keep yourself safe and to keep your mind safe and not to be too anxious about it if you can. All right. And then finally, I want to share with you all. So I did some channeling. Of James Baldwin. So you'll see, like I wrote down like what he said. James Baldwin is my muse. You see him over there, right there. He's just all in that corner. In addition to his bestie, Audre Lorde, who's right there. But James Baldwin and I share similar thoughts about debate. We love, like I just love so much of what he stood for. We both are a part of LGBTQ community. He was bisexual, I'm gay. He certainly was just a fire on the planet. He was a Leo. I just certainly resonate with James. And his quotes are just, unmatched. So I wanted to go to him and ask him a couple questions. The first question I asked him was, what's coming for America? What's coming for America? And I actually said in the next year. He said, a reckoning. One of immense proportions, and it's the medicine the planet needs. And I asked him, sort of like a reckoning, and then he kept talking. He was like, one of immense proportion, and he would use when he speaks very fast and very direct, and so then he said it is the medicine that the planet needs. Then he said America is getting her just due. He was very intentional in calling America her. America is getting her just due, and it's high time for it. So when I asked him about what's coming for America in the next year, he felt like proud of the reckoning that's coming, because he just sat there like, I've been trying to get this at least to start for some time. And then I asked him, what should people be doing right now to prepare for this reckoning? And even more so, is there anything we should tell Black people? He said, Black people are doing exactly right, which is why all of our entertainment spaces are thriving. And I asked him sort of like to say more about that. And he says, like, pay attention to Beyonce, Kendrick Lamar, Tyler the Creator. A lot of like musician and entertainment things are thriving in the Black community to keep us focused away from the way the spirit is handling things. And then I said, okay, so what about people who are non-Black? What would you want to say to them? And he said, once people actually feel an ounce of what we felt as a race from a country, they will begin acting accordingly. And you should see that already happening. Once people actually feel an ounce of what we felt as a race from a country, they will begin acting accordingly. You should start seeing that already happening. So that's the channeled message I got from my muse, James Baldwin. And I want to end our conversation or our reading today on what is a song that we will be singing in the next 30 days. What is a song America will be singing in the next 30 days as we witness our government and the world shift in 30 days. What is a song that we will be singing? Again, y'all, if y'all are free on Saturday, come and hang out with me and my spiritual sister, Moonlight Energy. We're going to figure out how to make sure that we're on a live together. Okay. Give me a song that we'll be singing, Thank You, Spirit, in 3 months. And we got... we got Britney Spears, Toxic. Baby, can't you see? I'm calling. A guy like you should wear a warning. It's dangerous. I'm falling. There's no escape. I can't wait. I need a hit. Baby, give me it. You're dangerous. I'm loving it. Too high. Can't come down. Losing my head. Spinning round and round. Do you feel me now? Spirit said that we're going to certainly be very, very clear of this man in a month. And it feels very like a toxic situation because there's people who are still going to be like within that orbit. That's like, I just love what he's doing. So in a month, it's going to feel chaotic, right? And as it does, we will have each other. And we will watch how people respond and know that it's temporary, right? Because there might be another, in the next 30 days, a shift, right? But the way that things are going now, we're going to see that the dangers of not calling this man out. We saw dangerous twice. And then we're going to also be like, yeah, you, sir, are toxic. And more people are going to realize that. Okay? All right, y'all. That is all that we'll be talking about today. Again, if you have not subscribed, please do so. I will be now coming and doing my videos on Sundays. I think during the week is a little bit tougher now because I got a promotion at work. And so I have to shift some things and I'm excited. So I will see y'all on Saturday in our lives together. Bye.